Coming up on this edition of Southwest TV News. Kicking off a new year always brings numerous resolutions for many individuals, including quitting smoking. As SaskTel continues to enhance its product services across the province, the launch of a new fiber optic network was announced in Swift Current.
When the trade deadline comes around in the WHL each January, it's a chance for GMs and fans alike to look back on the first half and towards the potential of the race to the playoffs.
Thanks for joining us here today. Well, this is National Non-Smoking Week, and the Canadian Cancer Society is hoping you'll kick the habit at least for one day.
Kicking off a new year always brings numerous resolutions for many individuals, including quitting smoking. And with Weedless Wednesday on January 21st amidst the annual National Non-Smoking Week campaign, the Canadian Cancer Society says this is always a great time to consider kicking the habit.
Well, I would say that for people who are thinking that they would like to quit, I would encourage them to give it a go and don't quit quitting. We know that for some people it takes several attempts before it happens for good. We have support out there for people who want some help. We have our Smokers Helpline, which is either it's a toll-free confidential quit line that they can call, or they can go to smokershelpline.ca and get a community of online support, including quit coaches who will help them come up with a quit plan. We know pharmacists across Saskatchewan are trained to help people to quit. There are now prescriptions available through the drug plan here in Saskatchewan that can help some people. So there really are all types of supports.
You're reminded that cigarettes and other tobacco products are made up of more than just tobacco, which are even more hazardous to your health.
We know that approximately 60 are known to cause cancer. And I think smokers, people who smoke, and others are aware of how dangerous they are, but it's a terrible addiction, tobacco use. I quit myself nearly 16 years ago and tried several times unsuccessfully to quit, but finally did it. So it is more than a habit. People say it's a habit. It is certainly more than a habit. It is an addiction, and a deadly addiction.
From the Canadian Cancer Society's helpline to various products out on the market to help you in your quest to be smoke-free, there's no excuse to not try and kick the habit this year.
SaskTel is launching a new service for its customers across the province, and the announcement was made in Swift Current.
As SaskTel continues to enhance its product services across the province, the launch of a new fiber optic network was announced in Swift Current. SaskTel President and CEO Ron Stiles spoke to the local business community, indicating that Swift Current is one of 9 Saskatchewan communities, which will be on board with the new Infinite Fiber Optic Network. Work will commence immediately, and if all goes according to plan, be fully rolled out to SaskTel customers in Swift Current by the end of 2015 or early 2016, with a number of key benefits to customers.
So in the past, if you had 5 megabits per second on our copper network, in the future, we'll be able to supply all the way up to 260 megabits per second on a download. On upload, the speeds are more in the 40 to 60 range. But again, it's an improvement of up to 10 times even more better than what they've had in the past. On top of it, we can provide more max services. If you're a gamer, somebody like that, okay, it'll give you sort of the very best performance. So if you're talking about something like 4K TV, which is the next set of high definition, Fibre is the only product that'll be able to handle that type of TV. Plus on top of it, there's 3D television, okay, as well. That seems to be just down the pipe a little ways. It'll be able to handle that kind of television as well.
Stiles adds that the new Infinite service will be offered to SaskTel customers first, with a campaign plan to attract new customers simultaneously, with one key area of the community left off the radar for now.
For the downtown core and for some of the outlying areas right now, we haven't planned to run fiber into those areas, but we would be open to discussions with the local businesses to see exactly what the interest might be in taking higher bandwidth products. So anybody who has a commercial business that actually lives in a residential area or on the edge of a residential area, they'll be included in the network build. We'll actually extend it to their particular dwelling or to their particular business, and we'll hook them up, and they'll have access to our business services, access to the residential services as well.
An exciting new service which businesses such as Stark and Marsh, who are headquartered out of downtown Swift Current, would like to be a part of sooner than later, and would welcome further discussions with SaskTel and other businesses in the area to acquire the expanded internet service.
You know, when I look at our business, because we transfer a lot of data, right? And because we have offices that aren't just in Swift Current. I mean, we have offices in Shaunavon, Cabrey, day offices, and, you know, in other locations as well, Val-Marie, Leader. You know, for us, it's about trying to transfer that data, you know, from those rural offices back to Swift Current. So there's probably two pieces of it. I think the fiber that they were talking about would be good for our business internally. It would do some things just from a speed perspective that would help us out just with our Swift Current office. But long term, it would be, you know, I think what we'd be looking for is that connectivity between Swift Current and Shaunavon, as an example, or Cabrey.
In the coming months, Swift Current residents can expect to see more activity around the community by SaskTel as the hardware for the new Infinite service is installed, from aerial infrastructure to crews drilling in backyards.
So basically, if you have a home today and you've got poles running behind your home and you'll see a drop or a black wire running from that pole into your home, then you're in an aerial area served by an aerial drop. We don't have to do any work that would be under the ground. If you're in an area that doesn't have poles, or if you're in an area that does, but you've chosen to bury your drop, you could have the option of going back to an aerial drop for fiber, or most people would stick with the buried. Then we will have to come in and put it in the ground for your yard.
Across the province, work has already started to convert over to SaskTel's new Infinite network in Regina, Saskatoon, and Prince Albert, with Moose Jaw expected to be the first of the 9 major centres fully on board with the program by the middle of this year. Eastend is home to a gorgeous view of the Cypress Hills and a thriving arts community, and is rapidly growing as a place to be in the Southwest. Part of the reason for this new golden age stems from individuals like Stephanie Davison, who created her own slice of paradise in this quaint community.
My name is Stephanie Davison, and I am owner of Hair Oasis in Eastend, Saskatchewan. My dad's an artist, and I've got that creativity and the artistic ability too, and hairdressing is you get to be creative every day and work with your hands.
From humble beginnings out of her own home, Stephanie quickly outgrew her location and needed a space to accommodate both her growing business and her growing ambitions.
We looked at a few different options, but this building was something that I've eyed up. It's the location is perfect downtown. It's a large enough building to do what we wanted to do with it.
And what she wanted to do was more than your traditional hair salon. Hair Oasis became the cornerstone of what would be an exciting new retail destination in Eastend.
We wanted somewhere that people could come. You know, they could come and get their hair done and go for a massage or go shopping and, you know, retail therapy. And with Clint's business in here, it's kind of taken a new turn. It's not just the women coming and pampering themselves. Now when guys come, if their wives are getting their hair done, they can come shop at Moose's. So it's got a multi-vibe now. It's not just the spa feel, it's just the community feel.
With a clear vision and some experience under her belt, Stephanie needed some help in taking the next step and took her ideas to Community Futures Southwest.
Community Futures was really good at working with us. They gave us zero money down, and then they actually, for what the building was worth, they gave us an extra amount of money in the loan for renovations, which really helped.
Hair Oasis is one example of the strong community spirit and hard work that has made Eastend such a shining star in the Southwest. According to Stephanie, it's these traits and other entrepreneurs like herself that will keep the town on its journey to growth and prosperity.
Now is the time, I think, to come, and people are really energized, right? Especially with the centennial, and that's what they need is people to start up their own business, because you aren't going to have those big Walmarts or anything like that come in to create jobs. So you have to create your own job, really, unless you work in farming or oil, really, in Eastend anyway. That's how it is. So just go for it.
And along with all the hard work and the success she's enjoyed so far, Stephanie still finds joy in making every client's day just a little bit brighter.
Having somebody leave with a smile on their face and have them, it used to be a phone call saying, I love my hair. Now in the age of social media, it's a Facebook post saying, thanks Stephanie Davison, love my new hair, like that's probably the most rewarding part, that you can make someone feel so good about themselves.
Thanks to Community Future Southwest, success stories like Hair Oasis are becoming a trend across the region. Community Future Southwest helps business owners with financing and business training, making dreams become a reality. Contact their office today.
A recent WHL trade deadline has changed the on-ice lineup for the Swift Current Broncos. We have more in this report.
When the trade deadline comes around in the WHL each January, it's a chance for GMs and fans alike to look back on the first half and towards the potential of the race to the playoffs. For coach and general manager of the Swift Current Broncos, Mark Lamb, it was a time to honestly assess the strengths and weaknesses of the team so far this season.
When you look at how our team plays hard. They give it every night. You're going to have a couple of those games where you just don't have it. But when you're in this business and when you're coaching and you look at your team and how hard they work and what they do on the ice, and I think our team's been very good that way.
It's this hard work that has left Swift Current in the playoff hunt, though with teams like Brandon and Medicine Hat in the East, and the Kelowna Rockets in the West also building for a run at the title, the Broncos have a long road ahead of them.
Teams go out and make some big moves on the trade deadline if you think you're a team that maybe could take a run at the championship. And there's a few teams, I think, that can take a run at the championship. And then there's a few of teams like ourselves that are right in the mix.
The first trade saw Bryson Martin move to Saskatoon in exchange for 96-born defenseman Jordan Thompson.
Thompson's an offensive defenseman that's just trying to find his way in the league. He was a highly touted draft pick by Kamloops, 4th overall. That was a big time player in that year. Is the guy we traded for him, Martin was. So we're looking for him to come in. We're just getting to know him now and fill that help out on the power play and be just a real strong defender and improve in that area.
Along with the players, the trade saw a 2017 Swift Current 5th-round Bantam draft pick and Saskatoon's 2016 first-round pick change hands, which Lamb explains is important for building a team for the future.
First rounders are gold. The first rounders are so important, and to have 2 first rounders is something that you can really build around. And to have 2 of those in the first round, you have a lot better opportunity and chance percentage-wise for those guys to be players than guys in the later rounds.
As well as the Thompson deal, the 2015 trade deadline saw forward Miles Workentine come over from Lethbridge in exchange for a 2017 7th-round draft pick. Workentine is a former first-round pick by the Moose Jaw Warriors, a strong scorer for the midget AAA Mintos who has struggled with injuries in translating his scoring touch to the WHL, which Lamb hopes he can overcome playing with the Broncos.
We're hoping that those are the problems that held him back from being a real good player. We think that hopefully he can find the promise here where he was rated, and when you're rated in the first round, you're doing something good at that draft year.
Now with the Broncos sitting 3rd in the division and the Brandon Wheat Kings with a commanding point lead, the road to the playoffs gets tougher every game as teams jockey for position.
It's going to be a lot of adversity. It's going to be real trying time for players, and we got some young guys that are gaining experience, and the experience that we're going to gain in these last 28 games is all going to be playoff hockey. So, and I think every team is going to be like that. When playoff comes around, you're going to be playoff strong.
Well, this brings to a close another episode of Southwest TV News, reporting the stories that matter to you. We always welcome your news tips. You can always reach us here by phone at our studio or by email to contact us at southwesttvnews.com. Also, be sure to join us daily online for the latest news from across Southwest Saskatchewan and so much more at MyLocalTV.ca. And be sure to follow us on a range of social media. Thanks for joining us here today. I'm Carol Andrews.